Bitcoin, hands down. Hands down. Bitcoin is a hedge against both inflation and deflation. Yes, so is gold, but Bitcoin is digital. And if you look at the incremental demand, we're going to see, but gold already has its demand, it's happened, right? Bitcoin is new, and institutions are barely involved. And young people would much prefer to hold Bitcoin than to hold gold. So, it's interesting that both gold and Bitcoin are hedges against deflation, but Bitcoin's been doing better recently.
I want to go ahead and start off looking at the U.S. government. They are potentially selling 69,000 Bitcoin worth around $6.5 billion. Now, if this came out a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, Bitcoin would have probably immediately sold off. But because $6.5 billion is not that much money in terms of BTC anymore, the ETFs are doing that almost every week or every 2 weeks. That's really going to cause Bitcoin to sell off in the short term, but long-term effect, this is not that much Bitcoin. If they sell this BTC, this could be a great buy the dip opportunity if Bitcoin breaks below $90,000. But I would be watching that if they do sell, be a great buy the dip opportunity, just like what we saw with Germany earlier in the year. They sold all their Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from around 65,000 all the way down to $50,000 when they did that, and it immediately bounced right back after that. So this could be a buy the dip opportunity if they sell this Bitcoin. And then to get into the jobs report, plus 256,000 jobs versus the 155,000 jobs that were expected. So the jobs numbers came in very strong. The traditional markets sold off after this data was released because with this data, people were anticipating that now the Federal Reserve is not going to be cutting interest rates because the job market is getting stronger. And a lot of people on our channel say these numbers are not correct. But these are the numbers that the Fed looks at when they determine rate cuts. So that's why we look at them. And also the unemployment rate came down as well. Actual 4.1%, estimated at 4.2%, and the prior was 4.2%. So that is a good sign there, even though the market sold off because they're anticipating that the Federal Reserve is not going to be cutting rates because the economy looks strong. But one thing I want to say here is we have the CPI inflation index reading that's coming out on January 15th. What if this number comes in low? If CPI inflation comes in low and we have inflation starting to trend down again back to the 2% target that the Fed is looking for, we'll have a stronger job market and inflation trending towards 2%. And with inflation dropping, that would cause the Federal Reserve to want to potentially cut rates in the future. But we have to see what happens. This comes out on January 15th. Put that date on your calendar. Even if you believe these numbers are fake or they're not real, you still want to watch out for this because they move the markets. And the Fed looks at all this data, and that's how they determine whether they want to keep interest rates steady, cut them, or raise them. And then we have some big news here from Dennis Porter. A bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve has been introduced in the state of New Hampshire. So that is some big news. Another state coming on board. Dennis Porter has been doing some serious work for Bitcoin, trying to get these states to have their own Bitcoin strategic reserve. We'll see if it happens or not, but that is definitely huge news. And then to get into MicroStrategy, currently trading at around $329. We have Bitcoin currently sitting at around 93,800, up around 1% on the day. And if you guys need a place to buy MicroStrategy or trade MicroStrategy options, you can do that on MooMoo. And if you sign up with our affiliate link, you can get up to 15 free stocks valued up to $2,000 per stock. So make sure to check it out. That is free money. And then I want to go ahead and get into some charts here. We can see here, Bitcoin will stay in a bull cycle as long as capital flows in. So you can see when capital is flowing in, Bitcoin's price is going up. When capital stays stagnant or goes down, Bitcoin's price stays stagnant or goes down. So the ETFs, the MicroStrategy buying, the other corporate adoption, we have states potentially buying Bitcoin in their strategic reserves. We have countries coming into buying Bitcoin, putting it on the country's balance sheet. We have all this potential money flowing in. And if this continues to go up, we'll continue to see Bitcoin's price go up right along with it. And then looking at this chart here from Raw Paul, we have been talking about this quite a bit on our channel. And we have known that Bitcoin has been following global M2 to a T, with about a 12-week lead for global M2. So if we're looking into the future, we could have Bitcoin go down to $70,000 in the short term. That is a possibility there. That would be a great buy the dip opportunity. And maybe the US government selling their Bitcoin could trigger Bitcoin to go down to around 70K. But Rao also shared this one. It is mirroring 2016, 2017 to a T. And this is also something I talked about when Trump got in office. The last time Bitcoin sold off in January, it had a 30% correction. And then for the rest of the year, it went absolutely parabolic. And we're seeing the same thing here with global M2. Global M2 is following 2016, 2017 to almost a T. So if we see global M2 start to pick up for the rest of the year, this is what it could potentially do. So where do you think Bitcoin would go if global M2 is going up like how it did in 2017? And then El Salvador bought 11 more Bitcoin to add to their stack. They have been buying a Bitcoin per day, but they've had aspirations to get 20,000 Bitcoin, and they've been buying more recently. And they just picked up 11 more BTC. So El Salvador really trying to buy more BTC there. And then just some upcoming dates for MicroStrategy. We have the January 17th expirations. We have the inauguration for Trump on the 20th. Fed meeting's going to be on the 29th. We have FTX estimated $16.5 billion in repayments. That's going to be on January 31st. And then you guys can pause the screen here for some potential catalysts for MicroStrategy in 2025. But I want to go ahead and get into a clip from Saylor here to end the video. Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. Appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe for more content. We have new Bitcoin MicroStrategy content coming out every single day. Appreciate you watching to the end. Let's go ahead and get into this clip.
But yeah, because once you get Bitcoin and it clicks in your mind, your immediate reaction is, oh, I got to hurry and buy as much as I can because someone else is going to go take all my Bitcoin away from me. So like in 2020, when I started buying Bitcoin, I was thinking, oh no, I got to do this in a hurry because someone's going to figure it out and the price is going to 10x. And I better get it before it 10x's. So, I mean, that's a natural reaction when it finally clicks in your head because you're thinking, why wouldn't every billionaire in the world go and buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, smash buy it overnight, and just to make $1 billion? Because why wouldn't they just want to make the $1 billion, or $5 billion or $10 billion or any amount of money? I mean, Bitcoin, it feels like in the early days the infinite money glitch, right? But